Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new, I'm Nyx with Chromates Apothecary, and today I'm bringing you a tarot pick a card reading where we're going to be looking into your love life in the month of September. So for those of you who have been subscribed to us for some time now, you'll recognize that this upload is coming up on a very different day of the week, and that's because what we're planning to do from here on out is upload 2 times a week. So you're still going to have your typical Wednesday uploads, and on Wednesday we're going to be focusing on either fresh ideas or some of the topics that we've done before. And on Fridays we're going to be catering it more toward romance and love life, things like this. So for those of you who have been a part of Chromates Apothecary, you are getting a new addition to your tarot pick a card reading lineup. And for those of you who are coming in new, this is a perfect time to join the Crow Coven because you are going to be able to see all these new readings and everything and join at a very exciting time. So let's go ahead and get started. On the far left side, we have the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot along with this tiger's eye, and this is representing group number 1. Then we have the Art Nouveau Tarot deck along with this pink crystal quartz that's representing group number 2. Then we have the Rider-Waite Tarot deck along with this Pyrite representing group number 3. And lastly, we have the Wild Unknown Tarot deck along with this Aura Quartz representing group number 4. So if you need to, feel free to pause the video and then meditate on the decks that I have laid out before you. And when you've made your decision, head on down to the description box below and click on the timestamp that corresponds to your group. And remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick a card readings in the future. Again, this is a great time to join us. And for those of you who have been a part of the Crow Coven, thank you so much for your support. We are feeling very encouraged to move forward with all of you. And now let's get to your readings. Hello group number 1 and welcome to your reading all about your love life in September. So if you chose the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot along with this tiger's eye, then this is going to be your reading for the day. And with this tiger's eye, this is really here to help bring about this sense of confidence, and it can give you the willpower to push through certain things. It can also promote a very positive attitude when it comes to pursuing your goals. And it can also bring about good luck and success. So we're going to set that gemstone right over here for you to be able to view during your reading in order to help you during the month of September. And before we get to these cards here, I'm actually going to pull one card from this deck here in order to kind of resonate and get a feel of your soulmate and their energy. And as I'm pulling this can be a reading for people who are single or even people who are currently in a relationship. So it doesn't have to be just for those who are single or anything like that. It can be for those who have established relationships as well. So the very first one that we are pulling here is the Otter and Cattail. And in this card here, it says peace. So I'm getting the cutest immediate feeling from this card. When I get the feeling of peace, obviously it's somebody who makes me feel very calm. They could possibly have maybe like a water sign energy about them. Again, it could be a situation where it's their sun, moon, or rising, but I'm kind of getting the feeling that it would be their sun. It would be their innermost self, where they just have this very soothing, relaxed personality, and it comes through as very, very peaceful. I'm also getting these messages of, you know, how otters, when they don't want to drift away from their partner when they're sleeping, how they hold hands. So I'm getting that feeling of someone who is maybe very touchy-feely. Perhaps their love language is actually physical touch. And just overall, obviously, it's just such a cute, like a mental image, just such a cute thing to want someone or for someone to want to like hold on to you and everything. So that's that feeling that I'm getting. Otters also always give me, they give me like kind of slightly mischievous vibes. Like maybe it's just the fact that like they feel like how ferrets feel to me, like that slinky little like silly kind of energy. So they could be someone who has a little bit of a silly side as well, and they like to show that to the person that they're with. So it's a very beautiful message starting out right. I'm going to go ahead and get started with pulling your cards from your Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot. So let's get started. So for group number 1, what can we feel about their love life? What is going on with that? Any messages that we can garner? The very first one we have is the Six of Swords. Ooh, 2 cards. We have Judgment, the Two of Pentacles, and then I'm going to pull one last one. The Two of Pentacles did kind of get pulled out when I pulled Judgment, so those ones might be tied together a little bit. And next we have the Ten of Cups in the reversed position. Okay, so I'm getting pretty clear vibes from this. I am getting this feeling that you may be someone who you have either had a recent relationship that you are falling away from and you are recognizing that it's not working, or you are somebody who's been single for a little bit of time. But overall, what I am seeing is I am seeing kind of a realization that you need to move on from whatever your current state is. So in the sense of, say you are single and you're currently looking, you are trying to move out of that being single to being in a relationship phase. And for those of you who are currently with a partner, I am really seeing that they are not bringing you this sense of peace. They're not bringing you this otter mentality or mindset, because I'm really seeing that there is some sort of disconnect that's going on between either, again, if you're single yourself or if you're with somebody with this partner. And the reason why I'm seeing this is the very first card that we pulled is the Six of Swords, and this is about a necessary transition, and one that you feel it feels very painful to go through. Like you wish you didn't have to reach this point and make this change, but you are recognizing within yourself that it's something that needs to happen because you have either been sailing on this boat by yourself for too long, or you have been overburdened by like a partner, somebody that doesn't match with you for too long, as represented by these swords, and you've been having to carry on all of that weight and try to go forward with them. But there's just this it's inevitably going to come to light that it just doesn't work. And again, we're seeing that kind of being represented a little bit more in Judgment as well, because Judgment represents some sort of absolution. So there is an inherent need for whatever is to be happening. This can talk about you needing to listen to your inner calling. So you are deep down recognizing that whatever it is that your situation is currently, that it's not working for you and you need to move on. It could be really hard for you to see that this is such a necessary thing too. It could be that maybe you're sitting there being like, yeah, I mean, sometimes we don't get along, but like we've been together for X amount of months, years kind of thing. And you're like, I don't see the point in changing it, but there could be something that's so much better for you out there. If you're not being brought peace by the person that you're with, you might need to kind of look at your situation a little bit more critically. Judgment can also be about rebirth too. So if you are somebody who was perhaps hurt in the past, and this is why you've been traveling alone for some time, maybe you feel just nervous about jumping into a relationship, and Judgment is here to let you know that this is a time of rebirth and a time of change. Judgment had the Two of Pentacles reverse kind of falling out along with it. And in this card here, we're seeing this imbalance. We're seeing this specifically because it's Pentacles deals with an imbalance of your finances. So it could be that maybe if you are in a relationship, it could be that maybe you're financially dependent on the person that you're currently with, and that's why it's a little bit harder for you to be able to pull away from this person. Or perhaps maybe just because you're like a two-income household, it's hard to pull away because you can't afford to live on your own kind of situation. So for some of you, I do see that money is playing a factor in this as to why you don't want to make that necessary pull away. It can also represent just being disorganized in general. So for those of us who have a partner and you're noticing there's this imbalance, you're seeing this disorganization of your relationship, and you can kind of tell, you're seeing it here, and you're starting to kind of notice the cracks, is how I feel. And for those of you who are single and you're looking for love, it could be that you may have a disorganized mindset, in the sense of, I'm getting this feeling like mentally, if you were able to have a partner to share your life with, you would imagine that suddenly everything would be like so much better, kind of feeling, which that can be truthful, and that sometimes it can be a detriment to just be like, oh, a person's gonna solve everything that's going on. We don't want to push all of that onto another person. We have to make sure that we are ready to take that step. But I'm getting for a lot of you that this is, it's like other pieces in your life are good, and this is kind of like that missing piece, specifically because I'm thinking about it being the two as in you and one other person kind of thing. Is you're sitting there going like, if I had my other half, then things would be correct, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting from that. And then the last card that's giving me this overall feeling is this Ten of Cups here. And in the reverse position, this means that there is some sort of broken home or marriage moment, because this card upright is all about like harmony, and there's just this perfect union. This is a marriage card. This is dealing with like you guys being aligned on everything. But when we're seeing it in the reverse position, especially surrounded by the rest of these cards, we're definitely seeing it in that harsher way, that there's just that issue where you guys are not seeing eye to eye. So I'm seeing here in the month of September that for those of you who are single, you are maybe recognizing this path that you've traveled alone for however long, maybe because you've been afraid of love or it just hasn't been the right time, but you are listening to your inner calling and you're able to kind of have this rebirth moment, because this is about going through a transition. You're going through this period of recognizing why, and you're seeing this lack of balance, this lack of alignment, because I think that you're either putting too much pressure on yourself in being like, I need to find the perfect person like ASAP in order to make everything flow, make everything better in my life, or you're feeling this way and it's messing with your mindset and it's making you feel bad about yourself. And for those of you who are in relationships that aren't quite working, we're seeing this again as this transitional period that you're gonna need to really take a critical eye and look at and recognize that something isn't working in your life. And not to freak anybody out, this doesn't have to be a like, I'm done then, like everything's over kind of thing. If you want things to work with your partner and they want to work with you, you guys have to find a place where you can both communicate and comprehend each other's wants and needs in order to come back to this peace. So this isn't me saying like, wow, you're with somebody who's super toxic and red flags all around and everything. It could just be that you guys really are not on the right page and you need to find a way to bring yourselves back to what you had previously. We are seeing, for some people though, this is something that's not working, and it's possible that it might not work for you in the future, and you need to come to terms with that. You need to realize why all these things are happening. You need to realize why this 10 of Cups is happening and really think critically before you make your decisions. But again, for others, this could just be a bump in the road. It could just be you recognizing something isn't going right and we need to fix it together. So not to freak anybody out, but this is what I'm seeing for the first part of your reading. Let's go ahead and pull a few more cards. Can we get some clarification for these cards? Because they were very, very strong. They had a very clear message, but I'd love a little bit more information. For group 1, please. Yeah, it really feels like you're just not working together. This is the 3 of Pentacles in the reverse position. And so this is about a like lack of teamwork. So you guys aren't seeing eye to eye for some reason. And that is what's causing all of this disorganization and all of the stress that you guys are feeling. For those of you who aren't in a relationship, I'm seeing this almost as nobody in your current circle is right for you. So if you are like crushing on somebody that like is one of your tight-knit friends, I'm seeing it almost as a like, this might not work. You might think that it's going to, but we're getting so many like, not negative, but reversed cards here dealing with being misaligned for some reason, that I'm seeing that for some of you, it's just that that is not going to lead to the outcome that you want. Can we get a few more messages, please, for group 1? There's the the 6 of Swords, again, underneath the 6 of Swords here. And so again, we're seeing very heavy transition period. There's a decision that you have to make that you are really regretting and you really don't want to be making this decision, but we're seeing that it's necessary in order to move onward. And then the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse position. It isn't a 2, but it is obviously a Pentacle card. So in this, sorry, I had to move these, they were driving me crazy. In the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse position, we're seeing this this sort of like lack of focus. We're seeing an inability to really be able to allow things to be a little bit maybe messy and just kind of we're wanting things to just be like perfect and wanting things to just work out right, and kind of confused in her as to why they're not working out right. So again, that's how, when I mentioned earlier about how you really want something to work with someone and it's not coming out the way that you're imagining it, and because of that there's even more stress that's being tossed around. There's that lack of peace that's happening currently, and so that we're just continuing to see this throughout the month of September. So there's a lot to think about during this time. Again, we're trying to pull from this tiger's eye here where it's going to bring good luck and it's going to bring some sense of success. So make sure that you really focus in on yourself and try to be honest with yourself is what I'm feeling. Is I don't want you to parade around thinking, oh, nothing's wrong, and then you just keep hurting yourself more and more because you're not looking at the truth of the matter. So I'm going to pull a few more cards. Any last messages for group number 1? We have Virgo. So this could be you, your sun, moon, or rising, or perhaps a partner. This is supportive, reliable, and meticulous. So again, it kind of like, I'm really feeling like for those of you who are in a relationship, you are trying to make it work and you are really trying to be supportive and you're wanting support from that person as well. But whether or not you're going to get it really depends on them. We also have Heart's Ease, which says learn by fully feeling. So again, being very honest with yourself. Really feel what it is that everything that is going on in your situation is trying to say to you. And like listen to your emotions. Don't push them away and think, oh, it's just like I'm being overly emotional for whatever reason kind of thing, because it could very much be trying to tell you something and you just haven't been listening to it for some time. We're also seeing Sacral come out, which says creativity and self-love. So really being able to give yourself love during the month of September is going to really help you during this time. For those of you who are struggling with a partner, for somebody who is single at this time, I think you just need time to focus on yourself a little more, because we're kind of getting pushbacks of if you're interested in somebody, it's not going the way you want it to, or it's not going to go the way you want it to because you guys aren't aligned for some reason. Maybe the person that you're interested in is looking for something just like fun and flirty, kind of like a one-night stand or a fling sort of situation, but you're like, I'm in it to win it, like you want to be with this person. And because of that, no matter how much you like this person, because there's that misalignment there, then it's simply not going to work out, because it's just not what you both want or need at this point in your life. And you need to like feel these emotions. You need to trust yourself in recognize like you're not going to change that person, like, or say it's a situation where like they don't want kids and you want kids, or vice versa. And you're like, oh, well, they'll change their mind eventually if we truly love each other. Like, no, they're not. So you have to learn from what you're truly feeling, and you have to focus on yourself during this time. You really have to focus on self-love during this time. That's for anybody during this, but especially people who are single. I am seeing this as you need to really think about yourself and worry about what's going on in your mind before you worry about getting into a relationship with another person. Lastly, we're seeing Compass, which says follow your inner compass inside of it. So you, again, that inner calling, you inherently know how it is that you feel and what you need to do in your situation. And it is just once more trying to remind you that yes, you need to follow what you believe and where you're being pointed to and being guided to do. Just know that you do have protection during this time. Again, that tiger's eye is there to let you know that you do have the ability to succeed, and you're going to be able to have good luck on your side during this as well. I'm going to pull some self-love cards for you guys. I wasn't initially going to pull these, but these are our self-care cards. So we're going to go ahead and pull a few of these ones for you guys during this time. For group 1, what can they do to help themselves out a little bit? There's a lot of energy here, guys. The very first one we have is soak in a bath. So this could be a really amazing time for you to rest and relax and soak in some water, because I feel like that brings you calm, it brings you peace. Again, like how we saw with the otter here, is that how they are normally like float in the water and everything, is like you are kind of doing the same thing. And as I said that, I kind of got the feeling like maybe you're the otter. Maybe I was describing you in the beginning and it isn't necessarily your soulmate. It's the universe trying to let you know that at this point in time that you are your own soulmate, in the sense of, not that your soulmate isn't out there or anything, but that right now you need to focus on you. So for some people, that is going to resonate with them. Also with soaking in the bath, just again, using that time to rest, relax, have that self-love, self-care. It could be more indication that possibly you are a water sign. What else do we have? Yeah. So we also have alone time. So if this reading hasn't been shouting it from the rooftops enough, the universe is really trying to let you know that this is a time for you to love, cherish, and protect yourself. Whatever your situation may be, whether you are in a relationship that you need to not be in, or if you are single and you need to remain single because you have to focus on sorting out anything that's been going on with your mind, the universe is trying to let you know here that you do need to have alone time. You need to focus on yourself before you can bring another person into your life. Simply because we are seeing that disorganization. We're seeing a lot of mental blocks and a feeling like you need to move on from something. So if this is like something like past trauma or a past relationship, anything like that, you need to do the steps necessary to take care of this before you can move on. I know I'm saying the same things over and over again. So let's just pull our final card. One last card for group 1. We have this card here that says, let your fears be your fuel. Chaos is the alchemical path to life. Forge your own reality now. So this is very, very dramatic and intense. It is letting you know that you have all the skills that you need in order to make your dreams come true. The let your fears be your fuel is really giving me this feeling of not being afraid of things that you, like stepping out of your comfort zone. So if you're somebody who's afraid to talk to people, or you have a lot of anxiety when it comes to talking to people, then push yourself to try to be a little bit more social. Or if you are held back by past traumas and fears, use that to kind of spite the things that happened and push yourself forward in order to give yourself more of that power and more of that peace in order to, again, just have a brighter future. Lastly, I'm going to roll the Astro dice for a few signs. So for the month of September and group number 1, we have coming out, the first one is Virgo. So we're seeing Virgo here and then also on the Astro dice. So it could very much be that you are a Virgo or you have a Virgo around you. Again, could be sun, moon, or rising. And then also with the Virgo, just the traits that Virgos hold: being reliable, being in a routine, patterns, that supportive nature. Try to be that for yourself during this time. Ooh. Next we have Cancer. So our lovely water sign Cancer here, we have very emotional and sensitive, very in tune with your emotions. And then lastly, we have Leo, our fire. So we've got this very forward, confident energy, kind of like a leader. So don't be afraid, again, to forge your own reality. Don't be afraid to have this like boss energy and really take charge of what needs to be done in order for you to feel fulfilled. So for group number 1, there's a lot going on in September. It definitely is very clear that you have a lot to think on and a lot to protect. So take whatever resonated in this reading and go about your life in the way that you feel is most true to yourself, because we're seeing this need for a transitional period, this sort of rite of passage. It is an inner calling where you know the truth, you know exactly what you need to do in order to make the changes. It's just that you have been very disorganized and you've been kind of in this moment here for a while now where things just feel really not aligned with either yourself or with a partner, and it's making it hard to really succeed in love. We're seeing, again, there's this lack of collaboration, maybe this sense of needing things to be perfect, but again, we're seeing this transitional period. We're seeing movement, which is great. Being stuck is the worst part of it, and you do not want to be stuck. So if this is kind of the kick in the butt that you needed in order to focus on things, I am very happy that you were able to receive these messages, and I hope that you're able to find some peace and find some joy within yourself during the month of September. So if you liked this reading or it resonated with you, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Tarot Pick a Card readings in the future. And also, if it's safe to do so, let me know what it is that, like what kind of situation you're going through. If it did resonate and you do feel like it's an okay and safe place for you to speak on it, let me know kind of what's going on in your mind when it comes to this situation and how kind of make an action plan for yourself. Let me know how you're going to step forward after this reading. Anyway, thank you guys so much for getting this far in your reading, and I will see you in our next video. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading all about your September love life and what to expect during this time. So if you chose the Art Nouveau Tarot deck along with this pink crystal quartz, then this will be your reading for today. And with this pink crystal quartz, this is here to help represent affection in all forms. So whether it has to do with you and another person, or this could be self-love, this crystal here really just helps amplify anything that deals with the realm of romance and love in general. So it is going to stay right over here for you during this reading. And before we get into your main deck, I would love to pull a card from this deck here that we have. We're going to go ahead and kind of see if we can get a general vibe of your soulmate or your love. So let's go ahead and pull a couple cards from here. I said a couple, so I am actually going to pull 2. I don't know why I said that. So let's go with these 2. So firstly, we pulled the Boar and the Pumpkin, which says confidence. And then next, we pulled the Possum and the Peony, and that says bashfulness. So there is this sort of duality that we're seeing here, where we have the very, very confident, headstrong, very, very like pushing forward energy from the Boar, and then kind of this shyer, sweeter, kind of like fainting goat. If you've ever seen possums, how they will just sort of like shy away and be very scared, kind of feeling. So we're seeing such intense opposites, and it's also interesting because on here we're seeing the number 18, and over here we're seeing the number 28. So that's also very interesting too, to kind of keep in mind. I'm getting the feeling that this could be very representative of you and your partner. So say you are somebody who is very confident, very brash. Perhaps you have a partner who is very shy, reserved, bashful, or vice versa. The other thing that I could be getting from this for some of you is that this could possibly be a situation where maybe you are involved with multiple people. So whatever your situation is, if you are somebody who has like an open marriage or open relationship, or you're in a polyamorous relationship, this could be indicating two partners that are in your life. So let's go ahead and shuffle your main deck. It could be in your life now or in the future as well. I guess it could also be like you may have this sort of partner first, and then you may have a more bashful partner second. So let's go ahead, get into your reading. For group number 2, what are we seeing for their love life? What information can we get for group 2's love life? The very first card that we have coming out is the Hanged Man in the reverse position. And it's interesting because when I was shuffling the cards and I pulled it, I actually pulled it this way. So it was in my deck, flipped over. So that is very interesting. Very tricky card there. Let's continue. We also have Justice. So we're seeing some very strong energy here. We've pulled 2 major arcana cards now. The 10 of Swords in the reverse position. I'm going to pull one more. And the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse position. There is a lot going on with you, group number 2. Let's see what's happening. Let's start on this left side first, and then we'll tackle the right side, despite the fact that I pulled these cards in subsequent order. Let's go with the Hanged Man in the reverse position first. And we're seeing this sort of the sense of indecision when it comes to the Hanged Man. He isn't quite sure what he wants to do. He feels very reserved and pulled back from this situation, and it could be causing some sense of delay, this moment of pause. We're also seeing in the 10 of Swords by him that this is a moment of recovery and a chance for something to come to an end. So it is very possible that you could be dealing with a situation where you are trying to decide on whether or not you want to end a current relationship and what the future may hold if you did end this relationship. For those of you who are single, I'm seeing that perhaps you are afraid of either something coming to fruition that you have had in your mind, like you're afraid of breathing something into existence if you take a look at it a little bit more. I'm getting that because the 10 of Swords can also be you simply being afraid of a situation, and the Hanged Man is you really being stuck on something, really being just sort of put in a moment where you are feeling restricted and you can't, again, make that decision. And then over here in justice, we are seeing balance coming into your life. We are seeing this truth come to light. We're seeing fairness in all things. And so we are getting very much that you are going to be able to finally balance out things that have been going wrong, specifically in dealings of love. But we're seeing here in the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse position that it's coming due to some sense of loss. So the Ten of Pentacles reverse can really indicate loneliness, and it can indicate you just, again, having some sort of loss. Because it is a pentacle, it also deals with finances. So this loss, say it is a need to break off a relationship with another person. This could be something like you are losing money because you have to pull away from them. So this is a feeling of either you guys own a business together, or perhaps you are just a two-income household and you need to pull away, and that is going to bring about that loss. We're also seeing in here Pisces and Libra. So I don't know if that is either you or a current partner, or just a coincidence kind of moment, but I'm really getting this feeling like it is further connected to you guys. So it could be sun, moon, or rising. So let's go a little bit further into this reading. Let's get some clarifying cards because I really want to know what is going on. There's some need to either walk away from something, or some need to allow yourself to experience new things because you're so afraid of something going wrong. It could be that maybe you're afraid of opening up to a person because you're afraid of, like, what if I like ruin the relationship kind of vibe. For group 2, what information can we get? The Ace of Cups in the reversed position means there's some sort of repressed emotions. You're keeping something from yourself or from another person. It could be that your emotions are blocked, and with it being beneath the Hanged Man in the reverse position as well, again, there's that delay, there's that indecision, that blocked energy. What else can we get for group number 2? The 5 of Cups in the reverse position. And in this card here, we are seeing a need for you to move on from something. So you need to accept and forgive either yourself or another person, and you need to move forward. Seeing it underneath justice is giving me this feeling like you were hurt in the past and you are seeking justice for the pain that was caused to you in the past. And that is what is holding you back from making these new bonds, forging any sort of new bonds, is because you have yet to move on. I'm also getting that from the Hanged Man as well a little bit. The Hanged Man can also be kind of a bit of a martyr. So kind of feeling like, oh, woe is me, like this happened to me and now everything is crap. And if we get stuck in that victim mindset, it can really cause a lot of damage and a lot of those blocked emotions to be overtaking you so heavily that you can't push forward. So I'm really getting that feeling from a lot of you that there's something that you have to work on in your inner self before you attract this new energy, before you attract this love that you are searching for. For those of you who are currently in a relationship, though, I'm really seeing that this is a situation where it feels like you guys are just not on the right page. We're seeing some really heavy issues dealing with your emotions and a lack of mental clarity. We're seeing, if we want to be like really generic in this situation, we have this confident boar, sometimes for most people would be seen as a more masculine looking animal with the tusk and everything, those features, with the hanged man directly next to it, a masculine figure. And then we have this possum with bashfulness, a put upon feminine trait next to justice, which in this card here seen as a woman. Not that it has to be so binary. People can have masculine and feminine energies within them. So this does not have to be very much like your partner is male and you are female. It doesn't have to be that at all. But I am getting for a good majority of you that it actually is this way. And I'm really seeing this as you guys' story of he is stuck and not making decisions and really delaying, and you're trying to bring about the sense of balance and fairness, and there's something going on. You need to move past certain situations. You need to forgive and move on, and this hanged man needs to deal with their emotions and needs to unblock all of this and move on. We have, again, with the 10 of Swords, this is about regeneration. This is about having this recovery feeling. And in the 10 of Pentacles, we have this this like loss and loneliness. So being pulled away. So I'm almost seeing this as a them versus you, or you versus them, depending on what you see yourself as in this situation, because it can flip-flop around. I was just getting the feeling that this is mostly the viewers right now, but you can see yourself as this boar here in this situation. So there are things that need to be worked on both sides in order to make this work. So that's really the vibe that I'm getting for a lot of you, is that this is a current relationship. For those who are single, they're like, what is happening? Let's continue forward. Any last messages for group 2? I would like to pull 3 more cards. Please and thank you. We have the Page of Cups. Some more, let's go with some outcome cards of dealing with these repressed emotions. Forgiving and moving on. Can we get some outcome cards? The 9 of Swords in the reverse position. And lastly, we are seeing Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So in the Page of Cups, we have this moment where she is very much a new and I'm trying to think, just like a new beginning. She's about having a new message brought into your life, and also about being able to be on the same page. Then we're seeing in the 9 of Swords that came out next in the reverse position that this is a sense of hopelessness and a sense of very intense depression, and really, like, again, tied with this loneliness. It feels like this is like an overly like consuming feeling. And so you have this very intense like juxtaposition of these 2 cards here, where this one is again like beautiful new beginning, a new message, being in sync, And then we have this card here where it's just depression and torment, that it needs to be balanced out by that justice, by the scales. There needs to be a balance in order to find this Ace of Pentacles moment here. And in the Ace of Pentacles, this is a moment of prosperity and manifestation. So what I'm seeing this as is that for those of you who are currently in a relationship, I think there are some things that you guys need to dig through and work on both ends of the spectrum before you can meet together in the middle and have this new compassion for one another, this new manifestation where you're able to continue out and grow. For those of you who are in a relationship where this is not working out, I'm really seeing this as you need to find out what is going to bring you the most happiness and whether or not you can continue along this path. Because I'm really getting this feeling like it feels very heavy and very consuming, whether this is trauma that you've been through or you're currently dealing with depression and you're with a partner who's just not, they're simply not seeing it. I'm really getting this feeling like you kind of have to cut your losses a bit and find a new way to forge your new path. For those of you who are single, however, the overall feeling that I'm getting from this, if you're combining all of these together, and this is more of a representation of you, I'm getting this feeling like you are really holding back from looking deeper within yourself and realizing some of the things that you need to work through. Namely, we have this Ace of Cups in the reverse position, this Nine of Swords, and this Five of Cups. But there is a sense of positivity and growth that is present in things like justice. In the Five of Cups reversed, with it being about acceptance and moving on, you just aren't there yet. In the Ten of Cups, or the Ten of Swords, where it has this regeneration period, this period of recovery. So I believe you have all of the pieces that you need in order to mold yourself to this new opportunity. But I also believe that there's a lot of shadow work that needs to be done. And you have to take a very critical look at yourself in order to reach that point. And when you can reach this point, when you can reach this Ace of Pentacles moment, you're going to be able to attract new love into your life. So let's go forward with a few more messages. For group 2, can you pull 2 cards for any further messages? The first card we have is the Third Quarter, which says, I connect with nature at my own pace, so do not rush. Whatever will be, will be. I think that if you jump ahead and make decisions too quickly, you're going to be dissatisfied with the outcome. And this is trying to let you know that you will come to the realizations that you need to come to, and you will start making progress when it's right for you, and not to push yourself. Like hearing, oh, you need to accept something and move on, and oh, you're in this funk, you need to work your way through it. That is not going to help people just be like, oh wow, everything's cured. It takes time to work through things like grief, things like loss. So take your time. Come to your decisions in your own time, and do not put pressure on yourself, and don't let other people put pressure on you either. We're also seeing Taurus, which, yes, we were getting a lot of earth sign energy here. So with Taurus, this says patient, caring, and calm. So this could be your sun, moon, or rising. Taurus is also one that I can see as being very, very stubborn. So it could be a situation where you know all of these things and you just haven't stepped forward with it because you are like, no, things are going to continue to go the way that I want them to. And it's just made it very hard because you're kind of fighting against yourself during all this as well. Next, I'm going to pull some self-care cards for you guys. I wasn't originally going to, but I am going to add these in here because I feel like you guys need a little bit of good news, a little bit of guidance during this time. So what can group 2 do during this time to help them through this? The first one we have is make an altar. So if you are somebody who likes to make altars, this is a blessing for you. Maybe put on things on this altar to attract this new sense of confidence, this self-love for yourself. If you are having this need to move on from a situation, to accept a situation, maybe placing things on that altar that helps you feel confident and in control, grounded, in order to make those steps that you need to make. Also, I would say some form of chalice or cup in order to represent those emotions that you need to be processing, because we are seeing the Ace of Cups and the Five of Cups. We're seeing those there. I really think that there is a need for you to do some inner emotional work. Next one we have is a little bit more fun, everybody. We have plan a vacation. So you may want to use some time in order to get away from it all. You might want to even just fantasize about it, because sometimes when I know I do not have the funds for it at the time, I will just simply plan out a vacation for myself and just sort of fantasize being on that vacation and how I would feel. If it's just like I can't get away from work and I don't have the funds, anything like that, I will allow myself to go on this journey of being like, what would I do if I could be here at this time and be able to fully relax? But of course, if you have the means, it's safe for you to do so and everything. Planning a vacation and going on a bit of a solo journey could be something that you need to do during this time. I'm also going to pull one last card from here for group 2. What do we have message-wise for group 2? This one here says, give love, create love, be love, love, receive love, emanate love, speak love, anchor love. So come at whatever your situation is with this sense of love at the forefront of it all. So if you're currently in a struggling relationship, try to speak with love. Try to really push forward with not a this is your fault and this is why XYZ isn't happening and all that stuff. You want to try to be mature and as loving as possible, because you would hopefully receive that same level of respect and love from your person. And if this is someone who is single watching this reading, I do see love coming toward you, but you need to give all of this to yourself first. You need to really feel it deep within yourself and feel confident that you can push forward from all of this background noise that's happening to you. You have to let go of a few things and really have a cold, hard look at your emotions and how it is that you're feeling in the current moment before I believe that you're going to attract people to you. Because no matter what state you're in, you are worthy of love. I'm not somebody who believes in you have to love yourself before you can love another person, but I do believe that you need to know how to love yourself. before you can attract people to you. Because if you treat yourself poorly, that will reflect and people will be able to see that you are struggling in that way, and it may make it harder for them to recognize you as how you truthfully are. Lastly, I'm going to do a few rolls of this Astro Dice for any last zodiac sign. So this could be your sun, moon, or rising, a partner in the relationship, or perhaps just some traits that you need to take on during the month of September. The first one we're seeing is Sagittarius, very free-spirited, very fiery, passionate, adventurous, the type of person who would plan and take a solo vacation, absolutely. Next we have coming out, we are seeing Aries, so we have another fire sign coming out, bold, courageous, kind of a go-getter personality, the person to do it before they say it. And then lastly, we have Gemini. So we have very communicative, analytical, unfortunately an overthinker. So somebody who's going to look at everything at every angle and twist it around over and over again to see all the possible answers before they come to any sort of conclusion. And also someone who very much leads with their mind versus their heart. So those could be some traits that you need to take on during this time. It could also indicate a potential new lover coming into your life. But what I'm seeing here is this is very much indicative of a relationship that is just not doing well, or someone who needs to focus on themselves first before they move forward with a relationship. So just know that whichever way you see yourself represented in here, you are worthy of love. We're seeing delays. We're seeing a need to go through a regeneration period and recovery, but we are seeing truth in the matter. We're going to be able to see the truth during the month of September. So if you've been kind of holding back and really not wanting to bring it to fruition, you're going to see what you need to see in order to make a more solid decision. We are seeing a sense of loss and loneliness here, but I think it's because we need to work on a lot of things that are dealing with our emotions right now. We have blocked and repressed emotions. We have, whether you have depression or you are currently in a state where it feels like you are depressed, there's a need for you to accept past failures, past struggles, and to move on from them. Because if we get to that point, we'll be able to have this synchronicity, we'll be able to have this new beginning, and it is going to bring forth love to you. It will bring it towards you eventually. Maybe not in September, but we are going to be seeing progress and we're going to be seeing movement. So do not be harsh on yourself. Be honest with yourself and your emotions, and try to give yourself love during this time. So if you liked this reading or it resonated with you, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Tarot Pick-a-Card readings in the future. And also, if it's safe for you to do so, let me know in the comments which one you are out of the boar and the possum. Which one did you feel resonated with you? Are you currently in a situation with a partner where you guys are just not seeing eye to eye? Are you going to be able to work on it in this sense of fairness towards yourself and the other person so you guys can come together and come to a decision that will work out? And for those of you who are single, let me know what your game plan is in order to give yourself love and move forward with this sense of newness to find your person. Thank you guys so much and have a great day. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading all about your September love life and what is going to be brought your way. So if you chose the Rider-Waite Tarot deck along with this pyrite crystal, then this is going to be your reading for today. And with this crystal here, this is known as Fool's Gold, and I am really seeing this as kind of like the Fool card, where it's a new journey, a new beginning. There's innocence and there's this spontaneity of just someone who is surging forward with kind of like not a care in the world. Like they're just letting things come to them. It's very free-spirited, very much beautiful and sparkly, just as you can see the pyrite crystal there. And with that, I'm going to set your main deck aside, and I'm going to pull a card from here first. What I'd like to do is I'd like to tap into these cards and pull either a card that will represent you or perhaps a partner that is going to be pulled forward. I'd really like to focus on soulmate energy and see what we can get for group 3. So we have the Finch and Peach, and on it, it's so cute, it says romance. So this is so cute. We are obviously seeing this beautiful newness in the card saying romance. With the Finch, we're obviously getting these messages of perhaps someone who uses their voice a lot. It could be somebody who perhaps sings, maybe they are a public or motivational speaker. I just believe that they would have a very beautiful voice to you, very lilting, just pleasant to listen to in general. Also, I always see birds as a sign of freedom, so very much someone who is, again, kind of like embodies that free spirit. They love just doing things that call to them, and they're not afraid of journeying and experiencing things for themselves because they know that they have their wings to rely on in order to keep them safe. This can also be indicative of an air sign as well, with being a bird. So let's go ahead and move forward into your reading. Group 3, what is going on in their September love life? Can we get some messages? We have the 5 of Wands in the reverse position. We have the Tower coming out. Very strong energy there. Next, we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse position. And can we get one more? The Queen of Swords as well. All right. So what I'm seeing in this reading is we have in the 5 of Wands this feeling of kind of pulling away, being afraid to deal with some sort of conflict that's going on in your life. It could be that there is just a lot going on. Maybe you have a lot of eyes on you right now, and you're afraid of what it is that they might say about your life or your situation. And I'm getting that in the sense of like, maybe your friends are trying to give you advice and you really don't want to hear it from them, because it's not that you can't rely on them, but it just feels kind of like you want to go about this in your own way, and you don't need people telling you that you can't do it, is the initial message that I'm pulling from this. So I'm kind of getting that you're avoiding talking about things that are going on because I think you're just afraid of someone having their say and trying to push something on you. I also am seeing here that this could mean that you are trying to focus on just your goals in general. So you may not even be trying to push for romance. You're not trying to actively pursue anyone right now. You just kind of want to deal with your own things, and you really want to um yeah, just like do your own thing, be your own person, live your own life is the main vibes that I'm getting out of this. But what we're seeing next to the Five of Wands reversed is the Tower. And the Tower, to me, can sometimes be a very scary card because it can indicate some sort of disaster or some sort of very sudden external change. But I'm actually seeing the Tower a little bit differently. Having been surrounded by the rest of these cards, I'm seeing this Tower moment as a necessary change, and as if you are suddenly realizing something and it's coming to the forefront of your attention. And when you recognize this big moment, there's going to be all this sudden positive change for you. However, it can be disguising itself as something negative at first, but generally speaking, the Tower is here to uproot you, bring you out of your comfort zone, and it plops you somewhere else, and you have to learn to adapt to that situation. So I'm really seeing it. The Tower is always kind of like a double-edged sword because it is a very sudden, intense, sometimes scary situation that then you are able to see the sun shining on the other side of it. But you do have to go through this first. The universe never likes to make things everything easy for us to work through. And because of this Tower moment, I am seeing a moment where there's going to be a little bit of a shakeup, perhaps in you, is what I'm mostly getting. Normally, the Queen of Wands is a very warm energy. She's very vibrant and very determined, very focused on her goals. But seeing her here after this Tower, we're kind of getting this feeling of her being either very demanding, being very aggressive in nature, or she is so scared and she keeps pulling away. So kind of like how we're seeing here in this Five of Wands, where you really are trying to avoid people and not wanting to deal with society and people's eyes on you and everything. We're seeing it amplified here in the Queen of Wands, where there's going to be something that suddenly happens and it is going to just like wreck your mood. It's going to wreck the way that you normally deal with situations, and you are going to either see your temper flare or you're going to disengage completely and want very heavily for things to go your way. And it's a good thing for you to be able to notice outright, because right next to it we have the Queen of Swords. So what I'm seeing is you are going to be able to turn this passionate, almost aggressive energy into something that is actually going to help you. Because of whatever this Tower moment is that happens, you are going to be able to move forward with this feeling of having a new like perception. You're going to suddenly, like, things are going to come to light. You're going to have this truth that you're going to finally be able to see, and it's going to make it so you are very resourceful. You're going to be able to think on your feet, and you're also going to be able to move independently. So you won't have these eyes on you. You won't have all of this pressure from other people going on. It's going to be very much a clear, distinct moment where you are wielding the sword and you are wielding this power. So I am seeing overall your current situation is you struggling a little bit, and there's going to be a moment within September where things are going to change. To relate this to feelings of love, it could very much be, if I'm going to go very, very literally, there's a possibility that there may be some sort of competitive nature between you and another person over the affections of another person. And there's going to be a sudden change that may happen to where it doesn't fall in your favor, but because of that, you're able to gain this new sense of confidence, and you're going to have this truth, and you're going to be able to move forward from this situation. That's what I'm getting for some of you. For others, if you are currently in a relationship, I am unfortunately seeing this as almost a breakup card reading, in the fact that there may be other people around you who have kind of expressed some concerns that you haven't been very, you haven't wanted to take them to heart, but you're going to have this tower moment that may be a potential breakup that will leave you distraught and leave you upset, but then you can turn that on its head and bring about that truth, bring about that that very intense, organized and perceptive quality. It's going to get brought out of you. So that's what I'm initially seeing. Let's go ahead and pull some clarifying cards. I would love to know what is going on in your situation. You guys have had, I'd say, the least straightforward situation, and I would really love to know what is going on. Interesting. Both of these cards fell out, and I am going to take them how they fell. So we have the Eight of Swords blocked and also the Three of Pentacles blocked. Can I get two more? I would really love some more insight on this, because that is so interesting. They both fell like almost completely sideways. The Six of Cups. Can we get one more? And the Nine of Cups in the reverse position. Okay. Let's put these here. Do we want to do that? Trying to make it look good. It's not going to look right. Because of this, it's giving me such, it feels so disorganized. Like I can't make it work right. I can't make it look right. So we're going to stick with my original plan. So the Eight of Swords coming out in that way is really torn between this feeling of being stuck in almost like you're stuck and you feel like you can't get out. And then on the opposite side of things is like you're trying to escape. So there's kind of this back and forth where it's like you're open to leaving, you're open to releasing yourself from this, but at the same time, you're also feeling very blocked and very stuck. Almost like the control isn't in your hands, it's in somebody else's hands. But the Eight of Swords is very much like she could get out of this if she could. She has a blindfold on, the swords are behind her, and yes, she's tied in this rope, but the rope is very loosely tied around her, and she could allow herself to pull it off and take her blindfold off and be able to escape this situation. But she can't see. She is blinded, so she's very much not looking at the truth of the matter and thinking she doesn't have a choice is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. With it being blocked like this, it almost feels like you think you can't do anything to change the situation. And the Three of Pentacles blocked, it's very interesting to me because this tends to deal with like teamwork. It's normally people working together in order, like having a common goal and working together to get that realized. So like collaborating. And when it's reversed, it's a lack of that teamwork. So I'm seeing it almost as, again, you're not seeing eye to eye with somebody. With this like 5 of Wands here, again, it almost feels like you're disregarding other people in your life who've tried to give you advice for something, because you do have this like very free spirit, very like, I'm gonna do my own thing, you're not gonna tell me what to do or what's going on, which is fine. It's fine to be that way. However, I think it's some sense of stubbornness that's making it hard for you to realize the truth and realize that your happiness is elsewhere. Next, we're seeing the 6 of Cups here, and this card is almost like, to me, like kind of like a baby version of the Fool, in the sense of like it comes with innocence and it comes with feeling very nostalgic and being able to tap into like your childhood. So as you can see, these 2 figures on the card are playing by putting these flowers into these cups. They're outside their old family home and being watched by a figure in the doorway. So it's just having this sense of love and coming together, almost like a reunion, where it's like coming together and living out kind of like the good old days. And for some of you, I'm getting a very clear message that this is someone from your past who you may have known when you were a child is going to be entering your life at some point in September, and they are going to shake things up a little bit. I don't think they're coming in hot like how the Tower energy is indicating. I think that they are a sense of reprieve. So this Tower moment will have happened, and then maybe they're there to help balance you back out. I'm just getting very soft, gentle energy from the 6 of Cups at the moment. And then lastly, we're seeing in the 9 of Cups reverse that this is some sort of dissatisfaction in your life. I think this is something that you inherently know about. Again, like you've been told it by other people or you are seeing it. So it's making it really hard for you to be able to move forward. And this could be as simple as being dissatisfied with like being single. Like it doesn't have to be anything super deep. It could just be that. It could be that you're dissatisfied in a relationship and you wished that it could have gone a different way, that they could have worked with you a bit more, because this card is normally about your wishes being fulfilled. It's normally about comfort and happiness and having everything be brought to you in a way that you just feel so emotionally taken care of. But when it's reversed, you are not getting those things, and it's making you yearn for more. Like you wish you could have those things, and you're so upset that you can't, that your emotions are spilling out because of it. So let's see if we can get any further messages for group number 3. You guys have such an interesting read right now. There's so much going on. First, we have the full moon coming out. So this card says, I celebrate being whole. So whatever that means to you, whether that is you living a single life and you are your own solid entire being, you need to be confident and love the fact that you can be completely yourself and wholly you without the need for another person. You should celebrate the fact that you have such a strong, like I'm feeling this like very intense, headstrong energy from you, almost like fire, air sign-ish energy, where you just are coming out and being the boss and being someone who doesn't need to be bossed around by other people because you're like, I've got it. I know how to do this. So I think you're just very, very powerful in your own right. And you don't need or want to deal with what other people have to do or say. I don't know why. For some of you, this is gonna be so weird, and it's only gonna be for a small percentage of you. But this is kind of the energy where it's like, you don't need another person. And for some of you, this is so weird. I'm getting this feeling like someone clicked on this video and they were just like, I don't even need romance. I'm just clicking on this because I want to see what they're going to say. And I'm kind of getting this feeling like you are really somebody that just simply does not need another person to really celebrate and love yourself and feel fulfilled. And so you love living free. You have romance within yourself because you love this single life and you love being able to express yourself in that way. And you don't care what other people think about you. You know what I mean? But that is like a very specific message. For most people, they're clicking on these videos because they want to find love and they want to know how to attract it to them. So I'm assuming it's like one cheeky person is seeing this and they're like laughing their asses off right now. Next one, we have Aries. I literally said fire sign. So we have Aries coming out. It says adventurous, confident, and driven. Aries is a go-getter. They are so like, they get the job done and they will do it and then they will talk about it kind of vibe. Like they do not need to hear about things from other people. They're gonna do it their own way. They're gonna explore things their own way and they don't care about what other people think about them. And what I'm getting from this is that if you are not a fire sign or you're not an Aries and you're like, this is wild to me, I think this is something that you need to take on to yourself and kind of learn this lesson. Try to be a bit more spontaneous. Try to be more confident in yourself and adventurous. Like this free spirit here that we're seeing in the pyrite crystal, we're seeing this adventure coming through with the Aries as well, where it's like, I want to go and explore things and do things the way that I want to and not be held back by another person. Can we get another message, please? We've also pulled Leo. So talking about our fire signs, we have another very prominent, very strong fire sign coming through. It says creative, vibrant, and leader. And Leos are very, very headstrong. They're very forward people, very confident, and also definitely the leader type. You are going to be the type of person who, again, goes out and gets things done, or they don't want to hear about it from other people because they are the ones who know what's going on. So I am really getting this intense energy that, like, for some of you, you might even be realizing that you don't necessarily need a relationship, again, to either feel fulfilled or like just in general. Like this tower moment might be you being like, you know what? I don't need to live a life searching for another person. I'm just getting this very intense, like, I don't need nobody, like kind of feeling. But for others who are interested in the title of this video, the fact that you're looking for romance, these signs can sometimes be a little bit not like commitment phobic or anything, but they can be very scared to let other people in because while they project this sense of like, I don't care about what people think about me, they can sometimes at their very core care so deeply that people aren't going to understand them, that they can push people away. And so if that is you, if that sounds like you, I think going back to the sense of innocence and being able to have a softness about you is not a weakness, and you need to allow yourself to be a bit softer when it comes to expressing yourself, tapping into your emotions a bit more. We're seeing the only real cards here that deal with emotions are the Six of Cups and then the Nine of Cups here. So it's this weird moment of maybe this was how you were when you were a child, as you were very innocent, very carefree, and just loved being around people, loved like being emotional. And now it almost feels like that's hard for you to do, and like you just want things done now and you don't want to have to really put your emotions out there. And so because of that, you're feeling a bit dissatisfied. Heavy. There's a lot of stuff happening. So I'm gonna pull some self-care cards for you guys. I'm not gonna leave you high and dry during this. Let's get some self-care cards for group number 3. See what they can do during the month of September to help quell all of this fire that we've got going on. The first card that we have is rest. Yes, you need time to rest and relax. Everyone does, but I do believe that you could be feeling really out of place right now because you are not tending to your sleep schedule. You're kind of having these late nights, early mornings, and that is pulling away from you feeling secure in yourself. You could also be getting messages from your dreams that could help you kind of like work through your subconscious, especially if you have a hard time tapping into your emotions. If you're having dreams, write them down and try to analyze them at a later point. You're gonna get 2 more because they will not separate, so we're gonna do this. The first one we have is connect with the earth. So if you are somebody who loves going out into nature, this will be a blessing for you. Going outside and just really being able to enjoy the sights and sounds, being able to feel yourself actually connected to the earth can help you feel a little bit more grounded. If you are generally somebody who's very flighty, very bird-like, and you just want to flit off and do whatever, this is here to help kind of bring you down and neutralize that a little bit in order for you to work on your mental state, especially. For me, I really like to go outside barefoot and just to stand and feel myself connecting with the ground beneath me and actually feel grounded. So give that a try if you can. And then next we have hydrate. So neutralizing that fire, like I said, we've got a very distinct water card here that's trying to let you know that, one, you need to actually hydrate your body, just like how we pointed out with rest here and you needing to get enough sleep. You also need to be getting enough water in the very literal sense, and then also dealing with emotions, because we're seeing water coming out. We had the cups here. Those are water signs, or dealing with water. And then we have hydrate, again, water showing up. So you do need to tap into your emotions a bit more and kind of analyze yourself a little bit, I think. We're going to pull one of these for you, group 3, to round out this reading. We have the only way to have a friend is to be one. Do something about that today. I'm really seeing this as you being a friend to yourself. Like, don't rush yourself. Don't try to push forward because you think a decision has to be made super fast. Don't take things out on yourself being like, oh, I can't believe I didn't like listen to them, or I can't believe that I like feel so out of it right now, kind of thing. Talk to yourself as you would to a friend. And also know that there's always time to reflect and time to change. So if you have been someone who doesn't like to listen to other people, and you didn't want to have to hear their advice, and you'd rather lash out when it comes to being like criticized. Know that you can always pause and reflect and realize that a change needs to be taken and then move forward from there. You don't have to beat yourself up about it. Let's go ahead, and to end this off, I'm going to roll the Astro Dice 3 times to see if we can get any last traits or messages. So this could be your sun, moon, or rising, or someone in your life who's going to be very important during this time. Firstly, we have Pisces coming out, and Pisces being a water sign, dealing with emotions, very much a dreamer, very much someone who can flow in their own way without being swept up by how other people feel, because they're kind of like living in their own world. Allow yourself to go with the flow instead of being so tightly bound or tightly so just like this intense fire that we're seeing burning so bright. Allow yourself to calm down and cool off for a little bit to kind of process things. Next, we're seeing Cancer. So once again, dealing with emotions. We also have this like loving, affectionate, and almost like maternal feeling here, with being very calm and comforting to yourself. And last one we have is Virgo. So Virgos are very stable and reliable and very, very supportive. They also love routine. So if you're somebody that needs a routine, maybe think about adopting one into your life during the month of September. So what I'd like to leave you with, group number 3, is that I am getting this feeling that you are a very free spirit. You almost feel like you don't even need another person to feel whole, and you are okay with that. For some of you, that is true. For others, it's almost like a coping mechanism or something to keep people at arm's length, because you don't feel like you need to open up to others. But we're seeing here that there is some sort of conflict that you're avoiding, but it will eventually come to a head. An external force in the Tower is going to bring about some sudden change for you that may leave you shaken up, but you're going to be able to move forward with confidence and a cool head and calm mindset. We did have these blocked cards here that really dealt with you being stuck in a situation and not sure how to release yourself, and also this struggle of teamwork that maybe you're not seeing eye to eye with another person. Like maybe you're not seeing eye to eye with a partner, or you're not able to attract other people to you into your life and bring that love into your life, because you're touch and go. You feel like, I really want to be with somebody, but then like your actions are saying otherwise, and it's making it hard for people to know what you're all about. But if you're able to tap into this sense of innocence, the 6 of Cups moment here, you're going to be able to work on your emotions and really bring things about in a way that can bring a more positive change instead of pushing people away. I do believe in the month of September that this is going to be kind of a learning moment for you, and you're going to take it and run with it. I see you being very confident, and hearing this is like gonna jumpstart you, and you're going to be able to push forward with this sense of newness, and that is what is going to attract more people to you. But first you have to take care of yourself. So remember to rest, connect with the earth, and hydrate yourself during the month of September so you can go forward with this newness and really be about attracting people to you. So if you liked this reading or it resonated with you, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick a card readings in the future. And also, I am so curious. I really want to know like about your entire situation, because it is so interesting that I would love to hear about if you have the ability to remember to come back to this video. Like if a tower moment comes to you and you like suddenly realize these big things, please let me know. I would love to hear about what is going on. Leave a comment about what it is that you plan to do from here on out in order to make these changes. Or if you're that one person who clicked on this video and was like, I'm not even looking for romance, this is gonna be completely wrong. And if this resonated with you and I like called you out, please let me know, because I'm so curious to find out if there was anyone that got called out because of that. All right, thank you guys so much for getting this far in your reading, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading all about your September love life and what is coming your way during this time. So if you chose the Wild Unknown Tarot deck along with this Aura Quartz, then this is going to be your reading for today. And in this Aura Quartz here, this really can help with dealing with your physical and spiritual body and being able to expand outward. It really can help in amplifying your needs in order to really tap into your subconscious and know exactly what it is that's going on, like having truths be uncovered and things of that ilk. So I'm going to set your crystal down right there. And before we get started with your main deck, I am going to first pull a card from this deck here. What I'd like to do is pull a card that can either represent you, or more favorably, I want it to represent your soulmate and this love connection that you could be possibly finding yourself moving towards in the month of September. So can I get a card for group number 4? Dealing with their soulmate or their situation. We have the otter and cattail coming out that says peace on it. I am going to also pull one more card because interestingly enough, I had another group that had this card as their main one. I'm trying to remember. It was either group 1 or 2. So if you felt like either of those resonated with you, it was group number 1. Now that I talk it through, if you felt like you were interested in possibly pulling and watching group 1, maybe see if you can find any messages there as well. We also have the cat and lavender coming out, and it says independence on here. So let's see, we're going to work with these 2 cards today. So this could be very much a situation where it's talking about you as yourself together, being at peace while also being an independent person. You could possibly be somebody that doesn't have any interest in finding romance, or you're not afraid of being alone. Or this could be indicating you in a current partnership. So maybe there's someone who is very peaceful, a little bit playful, maybe more in tune with their emotions. And then there's someone who's very independent, headstrong, and they kind of do their own thing. So that could be you and a partner. Or lastly, it could also be dealing with future partners. So you could find a partner who is very peaceful or a partner who's very independent. And this could be at separate times, or if you are somebody that is interested in having an open relationship or a polyamorous relationship, this could be indicative of 2 different partners that could be coming into your life. And the thing that I said for group number 1 also that I thought was so cute with the otter is, like, if you don't know, when otters go to sleep, they will hold hands with like their partner or like their family members so they don't drift away, because they just sleep on their bellies or on their backs in the water, and so they hold on to their hands. So I was getting this feeling of This could be indicative of someone who's very touchy-feely, like maybe their love language is physical touch. And so I thought that was just really, really cute. And I suppose when it comes to the cat, how I always feel about cats, because yes, they are so independent, is they can be pretty lovey. I've had a few cats who very much love to show affection by like nuzzling, but also it could be giving gifts, because as cat owners know, they love to bring things to you whether you want them to be brought to you or not. So it could be indicative of that they may be somebody who has a gift-giving love language. The other thing that I'm getting very heavily to is acts of service, is they love when someone does something for them, and they're almost like, yeah, well, you should be doing it anyway, but they're very appreciative of people who do things for them. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. So for group 4, what messages can we get for their September love life? What is going on? So far, all of the groups have had very complicated, I would say, bouts when it comes to September. So let's see if you kind of follow their lead. We have coming out right the Two of Swords, which means that we are dealing with some sort of choice or some sort of indecision. We also have Temperance, which is showing a need for balance, showing a need for moderation. We've got the Seven of Swords in the reversed position. And then lastly, we have the Devil in the reverse position. Very interesting. You have a lot of really strong energy coming through. So let's see here. What are we getting? With the Two of Swords, again, I was talking about how this is very much dealing with some sort of choice. It can also deal with having issues with your emotions, like having blocked emotions, like there's too much going on that you can't actually think things through. And you're kind of like in this like stalemate moment where there's like, you're not going any further. So if this is a situation where you're currently in a relationship, it could be that like the two of you like either aren't seeing eye to eye, or like you're having a really hard time with deciding what to do next and how to bring yourselves to the next level. And if this is you and you're single, you could be dealing with either having choices, like having too many choices. Maybe you have to choose, like maybe this is just indicative of two different types of people. And you're kind of going like, oh, this person is just so calming and just like they bring me peace and joy and everything. But then this person is just so mysterious and independent. And I love the fact that they're like so confident kind of thing. And you're torn between these two people. So we're kind of seeing that you are having a hard time coming to terms with what is right for you. And you are at this crossroads moment where you need to make a decision. You're afraid of making the wrong one. But we're seeing here, directly next to the Two of Swords, we have the Seven of Swords in the reverse position. And when I see this card, I am seeing, yes, you're having some issues when it comes to dealing with your mental state. You can't think through things properly. You're not able to reach the decisions that you normally wouldn't have a problem with. But I'm also seeing that you're going to be able to break free from this mindset. So whether you are currently in a relationship where you're like, what do I do? And you're gonna have a moment where it's gonna make sense. Something's gonna happen, something's gonna give, and you're gonna be able to reach this moment of balance where we're seeing in Temperance. For those who are single, you're going to, again, have that moment where you realize exactly what it is that you want, what you need, and you are going to be able to make your decision. I do believe that it is coming to you. If you do not have any cards on the table, like there is nobody right now that you're interested in, I think it's a little bit more, if I'm using it correctly, esoteric in the sense of like you are making choices that are leading you down the right path to find love eventually. I hope that makes sense. I think that like you're going to be making the proper steps. You're going to be going through the motions, and it's going to bring about love to you sooner rather than later, is really what I'm seeing. I'm also seeing that you are moving away from possibly your usual type. So if it resonated earlier where you're kind of stuck between two people and you're like, this is my usual type, but I'm torn, you may be breaking away from that and going for this person here, or vice versa. And it's going to be bringing you out of your comfort zone. And that's why you're having such a hard time deciding, because you fear the unknown and you're just like, you're really torn because you're so attracted to one in a more intense way versus the other. I hope that makes sense. But we are seeing in Temperance that whatever decision you make, you're going to be making the right decision for yourself for the time being, because we are seeing balance coming back to you, and we are seeing this you reaching your like highest potential, your highest purpose. Temperance can also deal with needing to have patience. So if you're somebody that like clicked on this video and you were like, I want to know exactly what my soulmate is going to look like, how they're going to act like, when they're going to propose, how many kids we're going to have. No, that's it's not that kind of reading. You're going to need to learn how to have patience for bringing the correct things into your life, because it takes time to lay the groundwork in order to build up to that point where you have everything that you want out of your relationship. Allowing time for things to grow is kind of the feeling that I'm getting here with Temperance. It could be also that if you are in a relationship, you need to have patience and work through things in a way that maybe you just wanted it done yesterday and you're getting kind of fed up. But because there's this breakthrough moment, you guys are going to be able to kind of work together and find that alignment, find that balance together again. And you just have to have patience that things will reach that higher plane when time allows it, and don't overdo it. Don't put pressure on yourselves. And why I'm seeing this all as being so positive is we have the Devil in the reverse position. And this is once more kind of like the more powerful version of the Seven of Swords here in the reverse position, because this is once more about breaking free. You are going to be able to detach from any past resentments, any past issues that you had in your life, and you're going to be able to move forward with this sense of power. You're bringing power back to yourself. You're going to be able to wield this power again. And it's going to leave you in such a state that you are just going to really bring goodness to you again. The other thing that's very interesting about the Devil card is that in the traditional tarot, so like in the Rider-Waite tarot deck, the card is represented by having a devil-like figure holding onto the chains of the lovers that appear in the Lovers card. So why I'm seeing this as being so helpful in this reading, with it dealing with romance and everything, is that For those of you who are currently in a relationship, I'm seeing you guys working through your issues and you're breaking free from this devil moment. So there may be some rocky days ahead, but with patience, you're going to be able to work together and you're going to be able to cast aside this judgment, this like pain that you guys have held on to for so long. And you're going to be able to once more work together and see each other eye to eye instead of just constantly like bashing heads. Like that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting out of it. And then for those of you who are single, I'm really seeing it as that breaking free moment where you are no longer going to rely on the things that you have known from your past and go for those things. So once again, how I mentioned you had, like if you had a type that you would go for, like maybe you were one of those people that like you're super attracted to the bad boy type and you just keep finding yourself like drawn towards them, but you've never allowed someone who actually treats you with kindness the time of day. And so you're gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna make a different decision and I'm actually going to stop this cycle and I'm going to release myself from this in order to pursue someone who's going to treat me differently. And you're going to see that blossom into something that is just so much more fulfilling for you. And also before I go on, this is not to like villainize whoever this cat person is. Like I kind of put upon that like bad boy persona to this and then them as like the good person. That is not at all what I'm trying to do. There is beauty, strength, and power in both of these things. And the opposite can also be true. You could be somebody who normally goes for someone who is, maybe they're too clingy, or maybe they feel like they're smothering you and there's never anything wrong because they never talk to you about problems. Whereas someone that could be good for you could be somebody who's so independent that they don't need to like burden you with any like issues when it comes to being like too like smothering kind of thing. Like they're like, oh, you know what, you do your own thing because I'm doing my own thing, and we'll come together for some good dates and we'll also be able to spend a lot of time together, but then we can go off and do our own thing. So I just wanted to put that out there. This is not trying to villainize either of these, but it's also not trying to be like this is the right proper choice versus this, because again, there is beauty and wonder in any facet of people as long as they're coming about it in a sense of love. So tangent over. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys, I pulled the devil card out from the Rider-Waite to further elaborate the devil having the chains of the lovers here. And in this card, they can just simply walk away from the devil, but they feel like they are bound and need to serve him. So I'm just letting you know that you guys have the power to walk away from whatever resentment, whatever addiction that is going on that's keeping you in this cycle. Whatever your situation is, you can break away and make a difference for yourself. So we are going to pull some clarifying cards. This is pretty straightforward, and you guys actually had probably one of the easiest readings, one of the most positive ones, I would say. So let's continue forward. What other messages can we get for group 4? Can we get some clarification, please? We have the Page of Cups in the reverse position, the Page of Pentacles in the upright position, and the Eight of Swords in the reverse position. So we're seeing in the Page of Cups, we have this person who may be emotionally immature. They could be having a really hard time expressing themselves. It could be somebody who maybe they are all jokes and no serious times with them, where it could make it really hard for you to be able to get a read on them and understand where they're coming from and understand how they feel about you. Whereas we're seeing in the Page of Pentacles that this is a moment of, it's about manifesting goodness to you. It's normally about finances. So this can sometimes mean like a new job. But what I'm seeing this as is this is reversed because this is a person that you should kind of avoid. So if you are once again torn between two people, if there's somebody that is just straight up not talking to you at all, they're avoiding their emotions, they are like, let's just make jokes all day and never talk about anything serious, I think that it's trying to indicate that you need to find somebody who is a bit more open. It says, like, again, the card is about like possibly having a new job, but I'm seeing this as like a new opportunity, a new person, so a new feeling. It's also very interesting because these are completely opposite in the sense of this is representing water and then this is representing earth. So complete opposites there, where they're just like, one is just hard and like immovable, and then the other one is very flowy and like very like deals with emotions, where the earth like very much like, yes, they can have their emotions in like balance, but they're just so grounded that they don't get swept up by emotions. And it's not like the complete opposite, like this being like water and fire or air and earth kind of thing, but it is giving me kind of like they're on the opposite ends of the spectrum, and you're able to see how this one is very clearly better for you versus this reversed Page of Cups. I'm also seeing the pages here as more masculine, just simply because the page in here is indicated by a male figure. Not that they have to be like someone who identifies as male, but they may have just more masculine traits about them. We're also seeing in the Page of Pentacles, again, it could be someone who is an earth sign, and then in the Page of Cups, it could be somebody who is a water sign. In the Eight of Swords reversed, we are seeing this time where you are able to release yourself from any sort of past resentments or past problems. So kind of like how we saw from the Devil reversed and the Seven of Swords reverse, we're getting this reiteration of you being able to release yourself from this decision that you need to make, release yourself from this current situation. So if you are currently single, you could be releasing yourself from that and getting into a relationship, or it's that if you're together with someone, you could be releasing, again, those past resentments and coming together, because this card also deals with being open to new perspectives. So you're allowing yourself to see newness and being able to see your choices and opening yourself up to something completely new, like how we had been talking about before. So you have had a very easy read. So this has been very enlightening and very interesting. Let's move forward, pull a few more messages for you. Group number 4. What last messages can we garner for group 4? I would like to pull 4. I'm going to pull them in succession because it just feels right, and I don't know why, because I don't normally do this. Woof. Okay, so the first one we pulled is this Waxing Gibbous that says, I bloom with energy. The next one we have is Full Moon, I celebrate being whole. Then we have the Waning Crescent that says, I pause in stillness and reflect. And lastly, we have First Quarter, which says, I open doorways to possibility. So seeing all of this, they really feel like they go in tandem with each other. And they're just as simple as they say on them. You being able to have this burst of energy and being able to feel full and complete within yourself to the point where you celebrate being you as your whole entire person, not having to rely on another person, just knowing that you are enough and that you are going to be able to draw things to you. You can manifest things to you because you are so open and so uniquely you, and you're able to express that. And then I pause in stillness and reflect, giving yourself time to pause and make decisions in your own time instead of coming to a decision quickly. Like, you're not seeing this and you're not somebody who's deciding between two people, hearing me say this and then being like, Nick sure does know exactly what I need, so I'm not going to go for that person. I'm going to go for the other one, and just making that decision. You are not doing that at all, because people are not black and white. They have such complex layers, and you need to know more inherently than what a simple reading is going to give you. You're going to know the things that you know that apply to you, that you are going to have the confidence and power to make your own decision. And to do that, you need to pause and allow yourself to be patient and really come to that decision. And then lastly, we have a very beautiful ending message here with I open doorways to possibility. So you are the person who has the key in order to make this new decision, in order to release yourself from any past pain, to be able to move forward and have a beautiful love story, especially in September. That is amazing. So we're gonna end off your reading with a few self-care cards and then one last little message before we go. So some self-care for group 4. What can they do to help them along this journey? The first one we have is make a meal. So if you are someone who loves to cook, or if you are someone who just dabbles in it, try to put some positive intentions into your cooking during the month of September, and allow yourself to nourish your body in the way that feels the most right to you. So if you know that there are certain foods that you need to be avoiding, make sure that you only eat the things that are actually good for you during this time. Just pay a little bit more mind to that. And then next we have aromatherapy coming out. So if you are someone who loves different scents, maybe you're someone who wears fragrances a lot, this could be a very good turning point, because we are kind of heading into the tail end of summer and we're about to go into autumn. This could be a time where maybe you're changing up your perfume. This would be great for you to try on a few new scents to give you this new energy. Or just as simply as it shows on this card here, it could be that you are able to bring about a sense of calm by allowing yourself to have this moment of aromatherapy. So if you are somebody who likes that, please dabble in that during this month. And one last little card here. For group 4, what is their last message? This one here. And it says, just for today, embrace impermanence. Be here now. This is where you will find your flow. So allowing yourself to pause and reflect, allowing yourself to really be in the moment instead of just pushing forward constantly. Instead of worrying about the future, worrying about the past, try to just be in the moment and give yourself that chance for pause and know what it is that you are doing now instead of what you'll be doing like 10 months from now kind of situation. I'm also going to roll this Astro Dice for any last messages So the first one we have coming out is Scorpio. So this could be your sun, moon, or rising. It could be your like current partner, or if you're somebody who's deciding between two people, this could be their sign. Also, Scorpio really deals with really like very determined energy, very focused, and they really deal deeply with emotions because they feel things so deeply. So that could be something that you need to focus on during the month of September. We also have Taurus coming out. This is giving me, obviously, Taurus is known as being very stubborn, but they can also be very calm and steady and reliable people. So it could be that you just need to harness that calm and steady energy for yourself. And then lastly, we have Virgo. So we have yet another earth sign showing up in this reading. And with Virgo, they're very reliable, very into routine, and very supportive of people around them. So overall, group number 4, if you liked this reading or it resonated with you, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Tarot Pick-a-Card readings in the future. And just know that for some of you, we are seeing lots of choices and need to make a decision, but this moment of pause that's going on in your life, you're going to be able to break free though as soon as you give yourself the chance to be aligned and balanced. Remember to have patience. Don't rush yourself to make this decision. And know that you will finally be able to break free from whatever this devil situation is. You're going to be able to pull away from that power and reclaim your power. We're definitely seeing a decision needing to be made. I'm seeing for a lot of you that this is about 2 different people that you need to make. But again, you're getting confirmation that you are going to be open to these new perspectives. You may be open to a new type and you're going to be able to embrace them. And during this time, you're going to pause and think about yourself as a whole being and things that you want for your future. You just have to focus on your present in this moment in order to reach that point. So if you like this reading, I would love for you to leave a comment about what is going on with your situation. If you are somebody who's deciding between 2 different people, please let me know, because this came out so strongly and like a couple times during the reading that I really think that you are just, you're kind of in a triangle, it almost feels like, and you're trying to really decide who is right for you in this moment. So I would love to know if that is true for you. Otherwise, if you are not currently in that, let me know what is going on. What choice do you have to make that is going to bring your love life into the future? Anyway, thank you guys for spending this time with me and for watching all the way through to the end, and I will see you guys in the next video.